웃으며 근데 날 떠날 것 같아서 500일에서 멈춰 가까웠던 멀었던 게 500일에서 멈춰 사랑은 아니라는 게 500일에서 멈춰 가까웠던 멀었던 게 500일에서 멈춰 사랑은 아니라는 게 우리가 이제야 되는 순간이 오지 않길 바랬고 날 보며 모든 걸 다 잊고 이제 웃어주길 바랬고 우리가 지금 심해 정말
The room was dimly lit, the soft glow of the TV casting flickering shadows on the walls. You were comfortably nestled on the couch, a blanket draped over your legs. The gentle hum of the TV provided a soothing background noise as you relaxed, feeling a rare moment of peace in your boyfriend's home. Your eyes were fixed on the screen, lost in the storyline, when you felt a pair of hands gently rest on your shoulders. You smiled, thinking it was your boyfriend, Jungkook. He often surprised you with little gestures of affection, and tonight seemed no different. So beautiful, a voice murmured softly, sending a shiver down your spine. The words were followed by a tender on your neck, warm and you leaned into the sighing contentedly. Jungkook, you're spoiling me, you whispered, a smile playing on your. But something felt off. The hands on your shoulders were smaller, the more curiosity piqued. You turned around, expecting to see Jungkook's familiar face. Instead, your eyes widened in shock and your jaw dropped. It wasn't Jungkook. Standing behind you was his older brother, Jimin. A mischievous grin spreading across his face. "Surprise, princess," Jimin said, his voice dripping with dark amusement. You jerked away, your heart racing. "Jimin? What are you doing here? Where's Jungkook?" Jimin chuckled, a low sound that made your crawl. "Relax, sweetheart. Jungkook's out for a bit. Thought I'd keep you company." "That's not funny, Jimin," you said, trying to steady your breathing. "Where is he?" Jimin moved closer, his presence overwhelming. "He's fine, just needed some air. But enough about him. I've been waiting for a moment alone with you." You felt a cold of fear in your stomach. "Jimin, this isn't right. You need to leave." He ignored your words, his fingers tracing a path down your arm. "You know, I've always... Jungkook, he has everything I want." You stood up, putting distance between you and Jimin. "This isn't a game, Jimin. Just go." But Jimin's eyes darkened, his playful demeanor slipping. "You don't get it, do you? I wanted you from the moment I saw you. And now You're finally within reach. Before you could react, he closed the gap between you, his hands gripping your arms. Jimin, stop! You, struggling against his hold. He leaned in, his breath against your ear. Jungkook's always been the golden boy, the one everyone loves. But tonight, it's my turn. You pushed him away with all your strength, breaking free from his grasp. Jungkook will never forgive you for this. Your voice trembling with anger and fear. Jimin's smile turned cold. Jungkook's not here to stop me, is he? Desperation fueled your next move. You grabbed your phone, dialing Jungkook's number with shaking hands. The call went straight to voicemail. Panic surged through you. Jimin, please, you begged, tears welling in your eyes. Don't do this. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Regret, perhaps, but it was gone as quickly as it appeared. It's too late for that, princess. Just then, the front door burst open, and Jungkook stormed in, his eyes blazing with Jimin, get away from her. Jimin stepped back, raising his hands in surrender. Easy, little brother, just having a chat. Jungkook rushed to your side, pulling you into his arms. Are you okay? He whispered, his voice filled with concern. You nodded, clinging to him. I'm fine now. Jungkook turned to Jimin, his expression hard. And don't come back. Jimin shrugged, his grin never faltering. You're making a mistake, Jungkook. She'll never love you like she could love me. Jungkook repeated, his voice like steel. Jimin gave a bow before leaving, his laughter echoing in the hallway. As the door closed behind him, you collapsed into Jungkook's embrace, your tears finally spilling over. I'm so sorry. Jungkook held you tighter, his hand gently stroking your hair. It's not your fault. He's gone now. You're safe with me. You looked up at him, your eyes searching his. I love you, Jungkook. I love you too, he said softly. Your forehead. And I'll never let anyone you again. The darkness of the night seemed to close in around you, but in Jungkook's arms, you found a glimmer of light. Together, you knew you could face whatever shadows the future might hold. The incident with Jimin had shaken you deeply, but life had slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy. Jungkook was attentive and caring, always making sure you felt safe and loved. Yet an unspoken tension between you. The memory of Jimin's, his words, haunted you more than you cared to admit. One evening, you were at a party at Jungkook's house, surrounded by friends and laughter. Jungkook was across the room, engaged in conversation, when you felt someone watching you. Turning, you saw Jimin leaning against the wall, his eyes locked onto you. Your heart skipped a beat, a mix of fear and something else, a thrill you don't want to acknowledge. You quickly looked away, but you could still feel his gaze into you. Later that night, you stepped outside for some fresh air, needing a moment to clear your head. The garden was quiet, the moon casting a silver glow over the scene. You closed your eyes, breathing in the cool night air. Can't stay away from me, can you? Jimin's voice was a low murmur in the darkness. You turned to see him standing a few feet away, a smirk on his face. What do you want, Jimin? You asked, trying to keep your voice steady. He stepped closer, his eyes never leaving yours. I want you to admit it, he said, his voice soft but insistent. You felt something that night. You shook your head, backing away. No, I didn't. I love Jungkook. Jimin moved with surprising speed, closing the distance between you. He reached out, his fingers brushing your cheek. You can lie to yourself, but not to me. His sent a jolt of electricity through, and you yourself for the way you're responded. Jimin, stop, you whispered, but there was no conviction in your words. He leaned in, his a breath away from. Tell me to leave, and I will. But if you don't, your heart pounded in your whirlwind of emotions. You should call for Jungkook, do anything but what you did next. Instead, you closed the distance. Your meeting in a that was both desperate and. When you finally pulled away, you were breathless, your mind spinning. Jimin, this is wrong, you said, but the words felt hollow. He smiled, a dark, knowing smile. Wrong or not, it's real, and you know it. You stepped back, needing to escape, before you did something you couldn't take back. I need to go, you said, turning and fleeing back into the house. The following days were a blur of confusion and guilt. You loved Jungkook. You were sure of it. But Jimin had something in you, a passion that you couldn't ignore. You found yourself thinking about him more and more, his presence in your thoughts. One evening, you found yourself alone with Jimin again. This time, it was in the kitchen, the house empty except for the two of you. You tried to avoid him, but his eyes filled with a dark intensity. "Stop running from this," he said, his voice a low growl. "Stop running from me." You looked up at him, your heart aching with a mix of desire and guilt. "Jimin, I can't. I'm with Jungkook." He took your hands in his grip firm. "And yet, you're here with me. Why?" Tears filled your eyes as you struggled to find the right words. "I don't know. I'm so confused." Jimin's expression softened, and he pulled you into his arms. "You don't have to choose right now. Just be honest with yourself." You rested your head against his, feeling the steady beat of his heart. What if I... He tilted your chin up, you to look into his eyes. "We are all ready, but lying to ourselves will even more." In that moment, you knew he was right. You couldn't keep pretending, couldn't keep denying what you felt. As much as you loved Jungkook, you were falling for Jimin too. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. You spent your days with Jungkook, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy. But your nights were filled with stolen moments with Jimin. The guilt at you, but the passion you felt with Jimin was undeniable. One night, as you in Jungkook's arms, you knew you couldn't keep living this double life. It wasn't fair to anyone involved. You needed to make a choice, no matter how it might be. "Jungkook, we need to talk," you said softly, your voice trembling. He looked at you, concern in his eyes. "What's wrong?" Taking a deep breath, you prepared to shatter the world you had built with him. I need to be honest with you about Jimin." As the words left you felt a sense of dread and relief wash over you. This was the beginning of the end, but it was also the start of something new, a path to find the truth within your heart. Jungkook's eyes widened, a mix of confusion and crossing his face. "What about Jimin?" he asked cautiously, his voice. You swallowed hard, your heart pounding in your chest. Jungkook, I have been spending time with him, more time than I should have. Jungkook's grip on your hand tightened, his expression darkening. What are you saying? Tears welled up in your eyes, and you, yourself to meet his gaze. I didn't want it to happen. I love you, Jungkook, but I think I have feelings for Jimin too. Silence filled the room, the weight of your confession hanging heavily between you. Jungkook's jaw clenched, his eyes flashing with anger and betrayal. How long? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. You took a deep breath, your voice shaking. Since that night, 3 months ago. Jungkook pulled his hand away. Standing up, he paced the room, running a hand through his hair. How could you do this? He demanded, his voice rising. After everything we've been through. I'm so sorry, you whispered, tears streaming down your face. I never wanted to. You. Jungkook stopped, staring at you with a mixture of and disbelief. Do you love him? The question, you like a Dudi. You opened your mouth to speak, but no words came out. Finally, you nodded, a small, broken movement. Jungkook let out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. Unbelievable. I thought we had something real. We did. We do. You cried, reaching out to him. But there's something about Jimin. I can't explain it. Jungkook stepped back, out of your reach. I need some time to think, he said coldly. I can't do this right now. You watched helplessly as he walked out of the room, the sound of the front door slamming behind him echoing in your ears. You collapsed onto the couch, sobbing uncontrollably. You had just shattered the man you loved, and for what? A passion that might never be worth the you were causing. Days turned into weeks, and Jungkook's absence was a constant ache in your heart. You hadn't heard from him since that night, and the uncertainty of your future weighed heavily on you. Jimin, on the other hand, had been a constant presence. He was patient and understanding, never pushing you for more than you were willing to give. One evening, you found yourself at Jimin's apartment, the two of you sitting in comfortable silence. He looked at you, concern etched on his face. Have you heard from Jungkook? He asked softly. You shook your head, a fresh wave of guilt washing over you. No. I don't know if he'll ever forgive me. Jimin reached out, taking your hand in his. He will. It'll take time, but he will. You looked into his eyes, searching for reassurance. What if I made a mistake, Jimin? What if I ruin everything? He squeezed your hand gently. You followed your heart. That's all any of us can do. As the weeks passed, you and Jimin grew closer, the bond between you deepening. But the shadow of Jungkook's absence, a constant reminder of the price you had paid for your choices. Months later, you received a text from Jungkook asking to meet. Your heart raced as you agreed, hope and fear intertwining within you. When you arrived at the cafe, you saw him sitting at a corner table, his expression unreadable. You approached cautiously, your hands trembling. Hi, Jungkook. He looked up, his eyes filled with a mixture of emotions. Hi. You sat down, the silence between you heavy and tense. Finally, Jungkook spoke, his voice calm but firm. I've had a lot of time to think. You nodded, waiting for him to continue. I won't lie about that, he said, his eyes locking onto yours. But I also understand that sometimes feelings change. Tears welled up in your eyes as you listened, your heart aching for the you had caused him. Jungkook, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to. You. He took a deep breath, exhaling slowly. I know, and I believe that, but I can't just forget what happened. You nodded, wiping away a tear. I understand. Jungkook reached across the table, taking your hand in his. I want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. You squeezed his hand, gratitude and sorrow mingling in your heart. Thank you, Jungkook. That means more than you know. He gave you a sad smile, his eyes softening. Just promise me one thing. Anything, you whispered. Promise me you'll be honest with yourself and with Jimin. You nodded, your heart heavy with emotion. I promise. As you left the cafe, you felt a sense of closure, a bittersweet acceptance of the choices you had made. You knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with Jungkook's blessing, you felt a glimmer of hope. Returning to Jimin, you found him waiting for you, his eyes filled with concern. How did it go? He asked softly. You took his hand, a small smile playing on your. It went as well as it could. We have his blessing. Jimin pulled you into his arms, holding you tightly. I'm here for you, always. In that moment, you knew that while the shadows of your past might never fully disappear, you had found a new light, a love that, despite its complications, was worth fighting for.
아직은 많이 이른데 지쳐 잠들고는 음악 소리가 너무 커 너의 목소리가 안 들려 모르겠어 뭐가 뭔지고 꽃이 배어서 무디다 생각했었는데 난 피를 보고는 아직은 많이 이른데 지쳐 잠